double deep this season. Back in December, so nice way to say that, Jamal Murray's showboat dribbled around Lonzo to end the game. And then last week, Murray appeared to gloat at either Lonzo or Luke Walton, causing Luke to lose his cool, which doesn't happen that often. Well, let's see, Luke looks like, I am angry. That is my angry face. Right?
There was some foul language.
Foul language.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke's pretty mellow
Basketball
most
language.
of the time.
Oh, yes.
I'm just saying Luke in particular is a mellow guy. Apple tree fall. Anyway, Chauncey, do you expect more beef tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I hope so.
Right?
No fights.
Okay.
But I love chippiness.
Right?
Chippy.
Go out there, have fun, compete really hard. Because guess what? If I don't like you, I'm going to compete very hard against you, Zach. I'm sorry.
Poor Lonzo.
If I don't like you. I expect to be some fireworks tonight. I love it.
I'll tell you this. Nuggets better win. It's a must-win for the Nuggets. They can't lose this game, so they got to be focused on winning the game.
And that's the thing about it is it should be a very good game because the Lakers been balling.
Right.
Their offense, they have been balling. And Denver as well, and they need the win.
Yep.
So, of course, chippiness is all going to be in the air.
All right, but to Zach's point, do you get more distracted by chippiness or do you get more fired up by chippiness?
Well, you shouldn't. You should get more fired up. You know, it shouldn't be a distraction. It should make you play harder and be more focused to try to outplay a guy.
I'm specifically asking the man who played with Rasheed Wallace, so, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, you've seen all of that up close.
I have seen
I feel like you were the
a lot.
calming influence there.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of that.
Yeah. Me and Tayshaun.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. Rip was almost.
I was going to say Rip was not calming influence.
As rambunctious as she
I was going to say. I hope you were not going to say that Rip, because Rip could get in a little bit chippiness too.
Man, yes,
you know,
yes.
that team is such a good team. All right, at the buzzer, this just in, our results from our NBA bracketology finals. I gotta say, Twitter, all this chalk I'm a little disappointed in all the chalk here. The Warriors won the poll, 57% to 43%. I'm expecting more upsets. Again, single game elimination. Things happen.
The Blazers got pretty far.
Well, they're the 3 seed right now in the West. They should get pretty far.
Yeah, but I tell you.
I mean,
are we surprised that the Warriors are
they still the favorite?
Twitter World's champion?
Hey, look, 57-43. If you said before the season any team has a legit chance against the Warriors of 43, more than 10, like that would have been a huge win. So we got a huge win.
Right. I'll tell you what, in all seriousness, that ankle of Steph Curry's, if it's not 100% right, they're going to have a problem on their hands.
You looked all right eating the ribs.
Well, I mean, that little shimmy, that little dance he had going last night was
He
good.
was like moving around a little bit.
Can you do that again?
I'm not going to do that again.
I'm going to have to make him do that again. I mean, look, it is interesting, right? I mean, that was the line all summer. Oh, one Steph Curry slip, one twisted ankle. You have to be ready for that. Well, the Rockets look ready for that.
The Rockets look ready for the real thing.
I don't know. All right, so I'm supposed to throw this ball to Carrie Champion. Carrie, are you ready? Because here we go. Sports Nation.
Show them your skills, Rach.
Woo!
All right, nice.
All right, so thanks, guys. Hour 23 of the Tournament Challenge Marathon starts right now on Sports Nation.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
Day 2, we're ready.
We're still here.
Still here. You guys kept me. I appreciate it.
I didn't realize you were so athletic.
Yeah, well, or not.
Don't check your messages. You never know.
Welcome to Sports Nation, everyone. Marcellus Wiley, LZ Granderson, Carrie Champion. It's time to check out our Tournament Challenge board. So take a look at all of the brackets that have been filled out. Over 7 million. You guys fill out one?
No, not yet.
Okay, you're getting on it, though.
I might get fired if I don't.
Okay, sooner than later. But first, let's go places, shall we? Presented by Toyota. Up first, you like that?
You like that?
You like that. The Kirk Cousins sweepstakes may have ended with the Vikings making an offer, according to our Adam Schefter. Cousins' agent says no final decision has been made, but the deal is expected to be a 3-year, fully guaranteed $84 million.
You like that?
Yeah,
you like that?
That's appropriate.
Like
Cousins likes that. That would make him, listen to this, the highest paid quarterback in the league. So I'm going to ask this to the fellas. How far do you see Cousins carrying the Vikings? Marcellus, you up first.
No farther than they were last year as a Final Four team in the NFL. Matter of fact, they won't even achieve that level of success. They forget in a vacuum, Case Keenum was a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins last year. Now, you're going to have some additions, obviously, in the running game, and you're going to get Dalvin Cook back, and you're going to see this team kind of feel itself in maturity, but still not better.
Marcellus, this question is wrong.
Yeah.
It should be how far is the Vikings defense going to carry Kirk Cousins? Because that's how they won all those games last year. It was about their great defense. If Kirk Cousins was the kind of QB that can carry a team, Washington wouldn't let him go. If he was that kind of QB, Jay Gruden, who is a fantastic offensive coach, would have known.
The defense?
No, he recognizes. This is someone who was offensive coordinator in Cincinnati as well. He knows a good QB when he sees it. He wasn't convinced, which is why Kirk Cousins was available. I love it because I'm a Lions fan.
But don't let that undermine what he can do at the position. Just because Mike Zimmer's there, he's always going to have a great defense. That's what he does.
Yeah, I think the fact that Kirk Cousins at this moment is the highest paid quarterback is a tragedy.
No. That's called timing and talent. It always meets at the right time.
I'll give you
timing and talent. More quarterback news, folks. Case closed, speaking of. Sources tell ESPN's Adam Schefter, again, he's been working hard, that Case Keenum intends to sign with the Broncos. Keenum, 11-3 as the Vikings starter last season. I wonder why the Vikings didn't keep him. That led him to the NFC Championship game. The Broncos haven't made the playoffs since 2015, but the league's best defenses are around there. So, LZ, let's talk about this. How should the Broncos fans feel about signing Case Keenum? And you know what? Is he the same as Kirk Cousins in your opinion?
The difference between the two is not as great as the price of the two.
Okay.
So if I was a Broncos fan, I would be like, well, shoot, we might as well celebrate because we were going after Kirk Cousins, and look what they just did. He's not that good.
Sure.
And Gary Kubiak, he was with Case Keenum when he was in Houston, Texas. He was an undrafted free agent. He knows this guy. He knows his capabilities. He's seen him grow. There's confidence in him. They should feel pretty good. And they spend the money, and they got a decent QB.
Nah, they're coming down off the mile high. If you're thinking about the resurrection of this franchise back to a championship program, that's not happening right now because in context, you're going to have a better quarterback than what you've had, the carousel quarterbacks, but you're not going to have enough to go with the defense. That is starting to age, starting to miss a couple pieces, and they don't have the balance on offense right now for him to resurrect them to a championship level.
That year they won the Super Bowl, though, Marcellus, their QBs were the worst rated in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That defense still got them to the Super Bowl.
That defense is not this defense.
It's not,
Come
but
on,
it's
man.
still pretty good.
But
No,
Case
it ain't
Keenum as
that.
a starter before he's with the Vikings, he was 9-15. He wasn't good.
Exactly.
So what does that mean?
That means they're going to go back to that, and the mediocrity in that division has gotten a lot
tougher. But you also have
tougher.
to remember, he was in a Jeff Fisher offense, and
Oh, here we
That's
go.
enough.
Blame
You
it
say
on Jeff.
Jeff
Next
Fisher.
up,
Okay.
Saints
That's
for
enough.
life. These guys aren't insane. Drew Brees agreed to a 2-year, $50 million deal with the Saints. The deal includes $27 million guaranteed and a no-trade clause. But here's the catch, and I don't know what you think about this, Marcellus. It's a 1-year deal, if you want to break it down, with the option after the first year specifically for the Saints. So there were reports that one specific team in the NFL wanted to offer him 2 years, $60 million guaranteed. So do you think that Drew Brees took the wrong deal or the best deal?
He took the wrong deal. I mean, look, there's two rules. Don't trust nobody, rule number one. And rule number two, don't take your heart to the bank. And he left himself no leverage because New Orleans knew that he loved that place. He didn't want to leave that place.
Sure.
So he signs a deal, which is ultimately a 1-year, $27 million deal for Drew Brees, who was the second best quarterback in the league last year at the age of 39 and has now set the market at a place where success, what you do in production, doesn't matter. We're just going to talk about promise, and we're going to talk about the future. And that's a Kirk Cousins, and that's a Jimmy Garoppolo.
But you said it's okay. A minute ago, you said it was okay.
The
So is
player,
it not okay now?
but for Drew Brees, he should have used that to get more money and set the market even higher than a Kirk Cousins.
His entire stay in New Orleans has basically been about him always getting that money. This is like the first time in which we're saying, oh, you didn't get all the money you possibly could. I think he chose happiness over pursuing more money somewhere else. He's happy.
So you're trying to say that money doesn't make you happy? Is that what you're doing?
Not alone.
Oh, man, come on, man.
Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matthew
there.
Stafford all make more money than Drew Brees. I think that's a trap.
Yeah.
Once again, that same word. Stay out of my pocket. Speaking of making money, Richard Sherman presented himself in his negotiations with the 49ers, and Joe Thomas called him out for that. Thomas tweeted, "You really feel bad for Richard Sherman, but this is clearly a case of ego getting in the way of his pocketbook. He got absolutely crushed on this contract while working as his own agent." Then Richard Sherman clapped back like he does. It's actually a case of believing in who I am as a player while also coming off a major injury. But I appreciate your input. I don't know if he really does. There are also reports that his contract was really incentive-laden, and that means for the 49ers, they actually have this is reports that they may have the upper hand here. So, Marcellus, you look at his deal. Tell me what you think about it. Was it a good deal or a bad deal?
Look, Joe Thomas is a little too far in the trenches to respect the context and the circumstances. There's not a film that Richard Sherman right now could put on and say, hey, I look great post-injury. So therefore, you got to take that into consideration when you're talking about your contract. I thought it was a win-win contract. 49ers are protected if he's not the same player, and he's protected and can make more money than he did with Seattle if he balls out.
I'm still stuck on the fact that the dude that chose to resign with the worst franchise in the NFL over and over and over again is talking about what another man is doing with his decision-making in terms of where he's going to go play.
So why is he in his pocket?
Why are you up in his pockets? Why are you feeling the need to say something when you've been with Cleveland for your whole career?
Well, that's what Joe Thomas does. I mean, look,
that's who he is.
That's who Joe Thomas is.
And this is who I am. I'm going to tell you, bro. It's like you need to stay in your lane because you've been in Cleveland this whole time.
Look, we deal with contracts. Just real talk. Would we ever negotiate our own deal? I'm not negotiating.
I wouldn't. I would pay a lawyer per hour to look at what I negotiated to make sure I'm not getting over.
Smart, but you don't want to have that conversation.
Oh, no. I'm always going to chase that.
No, absolutely not. But Richard Sherman, as we all know, is a different kind of animal.
Sure.
What you looking at? You don't see this animal over here? Compton.
What kind of animal?
We're the same animal now.
You ain't got no locks.
It's time for 3 G's.
We're the same animal now. Compton to the schools,
One G
baby.
for Blazers, Evan Turner. Turner commits a touchy foul. What's a touchy foul, guys?
LZ style.
LZ, what?
YMCA style.
See, why you say LZ style?
Because it's soft. I seen you play. It's soft.
Hashtag is G-rated. Hashtag must be fair. Uncomfortable.
It's like, me too.
Right.
2 years for Yankee Shane Robinson. Robinson isn't paying attention to the base path, and it's thrown out by the catcher.
They ain't paying attention to baseball.
How many games do they have? A lot. He's like, I'll catch you again.
Including now?
Look at all those people for spring training, though. That's love right there.
Yeah,
that's called free tickets. That's called just come on.
3 G's for Feathers. Russell Westbrook. Westbrook slips multiple times. I'm okay with this.
You're slipping, dude.
I'm slipping. He's slipping.
Brand Jordan is like, damn it. Brand Jordan hot right now.
That's what Dale's move.
Yeah, Mike on the private, like, hey, man, we got to get this right.
Oh, man.
Good core strength, though.
All right. You know what? He can do no wrong to me. He's just showing you a dance.
I'll give you that.
All right. Coming up next, folks, Jay Billis joins us. First, Bill Walton, though, tells us about the Tournament Challenge app. I'm nervous.
Oh, my. What's this?
The NCAA Tournament Challenge app is here. Now, any app is only as good as the information behind it, but we are ESPN. Now, here are 3 quick tools to help you get right into the game in our annual Run for the Roses. Let's start with the News tab. All the latest headlines, stories, and videos about the upcoming NCAA tournament, the teams, and its players. Next is the Info button, with info on each matchup, robust stats, analysis, and most helpful notes. And if that's not enough, turn on the push alerts for all the breaking news and information. It's all here. You've been suitably warned. Download and play the ESPN Tournament Challenge app today.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.